Now, if you're thinking about picking up a Samsung Galaxy smartwatch, either for yourself or with Christmas coming up, it could make a perfect Christmas gift. You need to check out this video because I've been testing the three, what you would call flagship smartwatch releases that Samsung did at the start of 2025. The Watch 8, the Watch 8 Classic and the Watch Ultra. Now, obviously they brought out an FE model of the watch as well, but I'm not going to cover that one here because that is very much a watered down version of the Watch 8. Now, I've left links to all of the watches and everything that's featured in the video down in the description. So if you fancy picking one up from there, go to that link and that'll help me out massively. But here is my experience of using the three watches over the last 10 months. And trust me, these watches are definitely aimed at three different types of people and what people want out of a smartwatch.
On paper, they look like they should do all the same thing, but after testing these for all these months that they've been out, I can tell you that buying the wrong one is going to annoy you every single day. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception. They use exactly the same chip, so the performance, in theory, should be exactly the same. So they're all running the new Exynos W1000 chip. They all run One UI 8 watch, and crucially, they all have exactly the same bioactive sensor array on the back. So in theory, yeah, they're all the same in terms of performance. So that means that your heart rate, your ECG, your sleep apnea detection, and the new energy score Samsung keeps talking about, it's exactly the same on the cheapest watch as it is on the most expensive. So definitely bear that in mind. So if the chipset is exactly the same, what are you actually paying for when it comes from the cheapest model, the Watch 8, to the Watch Ultra? Well, there's mainly three things here: battery, build, and yeah, it's all about the bezel, the rotating bezel on the Watch 8 Classic. So let's talk about the Watch 8, the smaller brother, if you like, out of all of these. It comes in 40mm and 44mm variants, and it's definitely the lightest one. When wearing this, I barely noticed it was on my wrist in comparison to the other two. So it's made of aluminium, so it's incredibly light. And if your main goal is around sleep tracking, counting steps, and doing all the sort of the fitnessy things that you want from a smartwatch, then to be honest, this is probably the watch for you. But obviously there's some drawbacks. Obviously it's smaller, which means that the battery's not as good. Arguably, this is probably the most boring looking watch out of the three that Samsung released. And the battery struggle can be real. So on the one I tested, when I had the always on display, it barely got through 24 hours. So this is definitely a watch that you'll be charging 24 hours or every 24 hours. Or if you use it a little bit less, or you turn on some of the power saving features, you'll probably get a day and a half, to be fair. But my view is you're paying for these watches so that you get all the features, so why dumb it down and put it into power saving mode?
So overall, I would say the Watch 8 is the watch that most people would want to pick up if you just want a standard fitness tracker, something where you can look at your notifications and text messages and things like that. It's perfect for that. It's fine. But, you know, you're going to struggle on battery life, and of course you haven't got the rotating bezel.
And speaking of rotating bezels, of course, that takes us on to the Watch 8 Classic. Only comes in one size, which is 46mm, and obviously the star of the show is that rotating bezel. It's back. It's the thing that Galaxy Watch users who've used watches in the past have said is probably one of the things that makes this watch stand out from all the other smartwatches on the market, and it's that rotating bezel. And Samsung listened and they brought it back. It's definitely nicer to navigate the watch as compared to putting your fingers on the screen and swiping and scrolling, which obviously smudges the screen. Having that rotating bezel obviously keeps the screen cleaner, and it's just so satisfying. That clicky bezel, it just feels so good. This is probably the best looking watch if you want a smart looking watch, if you're wearing it with a smart suit or, you know, with a smart shirt. For me, this is the best looking out of the three. It does look like a piece of jewelry compared to the others, with the other two which have more functional appearance. This for me is definitely the smartest looking one. And of course, it'll do everything that you want the smartwatch to do. It'll track your steps, it'll track your fitness workouts. You've got all the apps from the Google Play Store on here, so you're not missing out on anything. For me, you know, this is a great choice because it has so many features on it. And I would say in terms of battery life, obviously it's better than the Watch 8, but it's not obviously as good as the Watch Ultra, so it's definitely the middle ground here. Now, when I've used it, I've definitely got a day and a half out of this, you know, on normal usage without putting it into power saving mode or anything like that. So for me, it's It's definitely in the middle ground in terms of the three watches that Samsung have brought out. But yeah, for me, just the look of it is great. That rotating bezel is definitely the clincher for me, though, in terms of what people wanted, and Samsung listened and they brought it back. And then we have the beast, the Galaxy Watch Ultra, a titanium casing, all super water resistant, rugged. It's a heavy, big watch, and it's perfect if you like, you know, if you want that explorer going deep sea diving, it's perfect for that sort of thing. So it's definitely more the sort of the rugged explorer look. And let's be fair, it's the battery king out of the three. You know, I've been getting 2 days of battery life on this with ease since I've been using it. But in terms of looks, I do like it. I do like the design that Samsung brought with the Watch Ultra. I do like the orange accents on it. I think that's as someone whose favourite colour is orange, I was obviously a big fan of it, and I really do like it. But obviously I understand it's probably not for everyone. Probably a bit too big for a lot of people as well, a quite chunky watch. So this isn't definitely not for everyone. But if you want battery and sheer ruggedness, then this is definitely one.
So there you have it. There's my experience of using those 3 smartwatches over the last 10 months. And for me, I've always stuck with the Ultra version. That's just because I actually like the design. It's quite big and chunky, and I get it. It's probably not for everybody, but I really like it. The battery life, as I say, is brilliant. So that's the main reason why I use it. And I think that definitely sums up the watch lineup. We have 3 different watches, and it feels like they're definitely aimed at 3 different types of people. So obviously you've got the Watch 8, which is very lightweight. It's your sort of standard fitness steps tracking watch. You know, there's no bells and whistles here. It's just functional, relatively inexpensive, and probably the smartwatch that the majority of people would go for. And then you've got the Watch 8 Classic, which it brings back some nostalgia, answers some of the frustrations that the Galaxy Watch fans had when Samsung removed the bezel. So they brought it back. And for me, it's also probably the smartest in terms of looks. You know, it looks quite fashionable. It can go with like something smart, like a suit, for example, for myself. It looks probably the smartest out of the 3. And with that bezel as well, obviously it has better battery life than the Watch 8. So, you know, I can see why people would go for that. And then if you're like me and you use the Ultra on a daily basis, you love it for the battery life. But let me know down in the comments, what watch have you got? Are you thinking of picking one up? Out of the 3, what is your favourite? What would you like to pick up, or what have you picked up? Let me know down in the comments. I'm interested to know. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It really will help me so much. 2026 is hopefully going to be a big year for the channel. So I appreciate it all. So thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Cheers.